How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Echoes of Ragnarok. We are here with all of these wonderful Australian creators for episode 5. A lot of very interesting stuff happening. And our wonderful Ulf Sigurdsson is back. Hooray!
He's alive.
He has braved the beast of Australian internet, the truest of monsters.
The highest challenge rating, I must say. There's nothing more difficult than Australian internet.
Yeah. What was it? Death Adders and Funnel Webs would be up there if they were a little bit, bolder. But
and then scheduling.
Scheduling's up there as well. Anyway, yes, welcome to Echoes of Ragnarok, a wonderful showcase of my homebrew world of Hymgard, which we are still working on getting into a playable TTRPG sourcebook for all of you wonderful people. It is based in the same Viking techno-fantasy world as my novel, or should I say, soon-to-be novels. As my second book, Harbingers of Ragnarok, Ulfidin, is set to be released on the 5th of August, which is very exciting.
You wrote a book about Ulf?
Yeah, it's actually solely about me. I really appreciate that, Dragyn. We haven't spoken about it publicly yet, but it's actually the backstory of my character.
Because we all know he's the fan favorite.
It's only made funnier by the fact that the title Ulfidin means wolf-skinned.
Oh no!
I think Ulf doesn't have a bright future.
Why would you
Look,
wake
it lines up with how the
skin?
campaign started.
He is Wolf, and by the end of this campaign, he will be skinned.
Dun, dun, dun.
But yes, Ulfidin will
will
be
be
coming
wearing
out
him.
on the 5th of August, which is wonderful news for everybody, but especially if you are in Australia, specifically the eastern side of Australia, specifically Victoria, but again, if you're willing to travel. We will be holding the book launch in late August, early September. If you go to my website, there is a quite easily found pre-registration form, so we can get an idea of numbers so that we can book a proper venue. So please, if you want to come along, and if you're able to come along, please come along and fill out that form so that we know to account you in and we can book a good venue for it. Once again, I would like to remind everyone we are doing this with the wonderful support of Green Ronin, who make the age system, which we proudly use here on this channel. They use such settings as Fantasy Age, Dragon Age, and Modern Age. All very, very cool, and if you use the code METALGM on checkout, you can get 5% off your order at the Green Ronin web store. Go and check them out. It's a fantastic system. I cannot spruik it enough. It's so, so cool. But, with all of that said, we are going to go ahead and jump in to our 5th episode of Echoes of Ragnarok. Returning back to our game, the party, upon following a attack from a local, seemingly crazed bandit group, took refuge in Eric's surgery, at which point discovered that Sorry, I've clicked something. At which point, did a sort of a autopsy on one of the bodies of the bandits, and found pretty much nothing. There were no signs of any sort of chemical or sort of ingested contaminants, and no sign of any enchantment. You did discover a number of markings on both on the body that you found and on a piece of skin that was taken by Ulf from one of the bodies in the tavern. This led to you essentially believing that these were a number of members of a local group of thugs known as the Razor Runners. These are not, particularly organized crime. Particularly, like they're not a syndicate as more than just sort of a street gang, as it were, as far as you've seen. You, upon leaving, later on that evening, Eric had a bit of a moment in which sort of had a feeling that there might be someone spying on him.
I have a stalker, guys. I'm not sure who they are, but I'm fairly certain it's not Hugo. Might be Ulf.
But in that time, also, Eric noticed that Ulf made his way out, simply stating that he needed some air. Not long after that, Ada arrived and sort of led the party to, following a tip from one of her girls, led the party to sort of the upper, shall we say, like guest quarter of the city, and soon discovered, with the aid of a new friend, if you could call him that, you discovered that there had been a sort of a raid on one of the houses which had left a young heir from Alfheim dead, seemingly tortured. Olaug, your new elven friend, suggested that he would like to know more, as he feels there is a pattern here that needs to be corrected or something that needs to be justified. And informed that he was staying at he could be found at the Drunken Drakkar. At which point you made your way, I believe you made your way back to Ada's hideout, where you spoke with Olga again about the night's events and your findings. And Olga informed you that the young man was a very, from what she spoke, a very shy boy, who was easy but too easy to play with. And he in fact left early and he left alone. But she believes she saw someone leave with him. At this stage, you have all left. I believe you all left the hideout. But we're going to jump over. If you don't mind, because I realize that I did not bring this up before. Ulf. Throughout the night, you think on Sigrun's words. You think on this idea that she brought forward of the comparison between Utgard and this civilized world that you are now starting to see the cracks in. You think about your time working for Vali, your time serving as part of Hrothgard. What's on What's going through Ulf's mind at the moment? How's Ulf feeling? If we're rolling back to you being in Eric's surgery at this stage.
So as he was resting on the bed, he's just sort of thinking through everything that's happened, every little moment since arriving here, being stitched up, seeing some good things, seeing behind that mask, as he calls it. And it's sort of beginning to click what she said about how everything that he knows is honest, and he's realizing that's perhaps why he's feeling this way. If there's a bad person out there, they're bad. It's clear cut. Whereas in here, they'll be nice to your face, but then stick a knife in your back as soon as you turn. And that's not normal to him. Ulf is almost, in a way, having to build a new defense mechanism for himself against this and prepare himself mentally to face what this new life is.
So you start to get restless. You're in this small, very sort of small, cramped bedroom. In the next room, you can hear Eric scratching at, scratching out some notes for a little bit. And then you hear what sounds like mumbling. Just this low, almost like just sort of doesn't sound like it's really to anyone. It's just someone almost just thoughtfully or reminiscing to themselves. And you realize in this moment is like you're used to cramped spaces. You're used to, living in what is essentially a Humvee for quite some time. But this is also the first time, I imagine it's like you think you've been still or in the same spot for a few days now, which is not normal, but it's not common. And what does Ulf decide to do?
One of the first things he notices is the stillness of the bed. He's used to the humming of the engines. He's used to bumping of rocks, the constant movement, the sway of the vehicle as it moves. He's finding it very difficult to actually relax. So he gets up and just slinks out the back door once more to where he had his little moment earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And just goes for a walk. Against better judgment, goes for a walk through the night. Just to clear his head, look up at the sky, and just try to piece everything together within himself. Mm-hmm. Why is he here? Why is he a part of all of this? Why doesn't he just leave? It's not his problem. Mm-hmm. Just try to figure out what his place is.
Cool. So you head out and you go to wander. And as you're wandering, having this feeling of, frustration and distrust and almost betrayal. It's almost this ideal. You've had this idea. Suddenly there's been this image of this god who appears to be a lover of the arts and the lover of beauty and peace and joy. And suddenly you've seen this sort of underbelly to the city, or this, this violence and affront to everything that this stands for. And as you wander, you start to hear music sort of trailing through the streets. This gentle melody that seems to play. As you wander, you start to see people around you dancing, or you're laughing, or singing along drunkenly. And there is this moment in that of there's a moment of distrust in that, but also there's also a moment of you feel yourself almost getting swept up in it. Real quick, can you roll me a willpower check, please?
That is a flat 12.
A flat 12. You feel as you're wandering, you feel this, you start to, there's a waft of the smell of cooked meat and vegetables, and this like very thick aromatic smell. And music starts to rise as you get closer around the corner. You see a street band playing. In front of it, there's a group of people clapping, and a number of like children dancing. And you feel this heat start to rise inside of you, and your heart starts to almost race a little bit. As you seem to move, almost the world around you seems to almost shift and blur, as if seeing everything in some sort of collage. After a moment, what feels like seconds, you hear a voice as it just says, Ulf.
Just dart my head over.
You look over. As you turn around to look, you do not recognize your surroundings. You are not in the street where you were, and there's no music around you. And as you turn to look, you see a familiar Nis, this sort of spiky shock of hair that's sort of staring at you. It is Khan, the Nis who carried you to Eric's surgery. So he says, it is Ulf, right?
Yeah, good to see you, I guess.
Yeah, good to see you too. Are you alright?
Yeah, I guess. What, you alright?
Yeah.
I'm sort of darting around trying to gather where I am, take note of my surroundings.
Yeah, you looking around yourself, you see that you are, it seems like you're in some part of the, sort of more in like the warehouse districts. Like around, you look around and there's sort of these fairly wide roads for carts and trolleys, these very high, like stone brick walls on either side of you. And it's sort of dark and cold and quiet, but you can still hear a bit of a ways off a few shouts and calls from people who seem to be loading trucks or carriages. And Ulf just looks and he goes, "Yeah, I'm all right. Just I just thought you might have, I don't know, drunk a bit or something. You seem off."
off is one way to put it. I've had this conversation with a few people now, and I don't know. I don't think anyone really gets it. Some say they do, but I just feel like I've been fucking lied to. It's as simple as that, and it's hard not to feel that way. It's hard not to feel that way. Anyway, that's not your problem, is it? Yeah. Just sort of spin around on the spot, really taking in where I am.
Mm-hmm. As you look around, I don't know why music's just struggling tonight. As you look around, as you have this moment, there's almost like it's almost as if the last few moments were like fast forwarded. You've been, like, as you walk back out and like looking down the street and around, you gather, if you've sort of mapped everything out in your head right, you've been walking for about 20 minutes. And it's been like almost this fevered sort of collage of images around you for a moment as you sort of track back to that feeling of wandering and then being caught up in this moment and this almost like rise in your adrenaline and heart rate that almost was like excitement, but it was a thrill more in this moment. Khan sort of turns and says, I was just well, Sigrun told me to have a look around here for any of the Razor Boys, but well, they've seemed to have locked up.
Well, if you do find one, let me know, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, I know where he sort of brings, he's like, I know where Sven is, obviously, but, I mean, there's not really much point in beating up the front man, is there?
Probably make me feel a lot better. I'm going to be honest, with what they did, what I've heard they're doing, we can thin their herd by one. I'm happy to do that, and I'll bear the consequences. Apparently people fear my kind and who I run with. I'll just play into that then. I'll make him fucking scared.
See, Khan like smiles and nods. He says, I knew I liked you. But he sort of leans and looks down at the belt, like with various sort of, you know, knives and stuff off it. He says, you strike me as more of a hunter than that.
Hunters skin, don't they? Hunters disembowel.
Oh, yes.
What's the difference between a person and a bear? At least a bear's innocent.
Look, I'm as down for a biff as the next man. And if that's the way you want to go, then that's the way we can go. But sometimes when you go busting in the front door, you find they lock up the other ones pretty tight. Whereas once you're inside...
Look, hold on. I get you bringing logic to this. Right now, I don't need logic. So even if there's some scum rat down the road who's done something horrible, let me have him. I'll sort him out for the streets. All right? Let's clean up these streets. Let's do something. Because I can't sit by and have innocent people attacked again. Mm-hmm. I've only been here for a short time. And in that time, I've seen the cruelest things I've seen. And I've done some cruel things in my time, but never to an innocent person. All right? Point me in the direction of something. I don't care about logic right now. If it'll screw our plans, our big plans, whatever, I won't touch it. I won't touch it. But give me something. That's all I'm asking.
Cool. He sort of Khan nods. And you see this sort of like this almost like wicked smile comes across his face a bit. And you recognize this is a man who, as he mentioned, he likes a biff a lot more than the next man. He's a very, very angry little man. As he nods and he's like, yeah, that checks out. Follow me. He leads you up from the industrial sort of like warehouse district up to the top of the area where about right where it starts to change into the market district. He stops at a corner and like leans back against the wall and points across the way to a small building that seems almost like wedged in between these two warehouses, almost as if they've built it in the middle of an alleyway. It's this small, you don't know if it's like ebony timber or if it's charred, but it is like, it is just solid black wood on the outside. These long, almost like frosted windows, and the front door is open, though it doesn't seem to emit much light from inside. Above the door, there's a sort of a hanging sign that has two raven heads sort of curled around the main sort of sign front, which says the Crowbar. And Khan just points, says, "You'll find Bran in there. He's the Razor Runner's front man. He's usually got some boys with him, but I mean, if you want to go, right?"
I'm keen.
Good.
Just rolls his shoulders back, checks his equipment.
Cool. Can, just for the sake of expediency here, because this is something that I think it'd be interesting to sort of come back to. Mm-hmm. Is Ulf even going to attempt any sort of like diplomacy going on, or is he just going to crack?
He's going for fear tactics. So basically, he's going to go in there, slit someone's throat, and demand information.
Okay. Cool. So we're gonna, as Ulf struts, like sort of stomps over towards the doorway to the Crowbar, we're gonna fade to black on that. As we jump...
I wanted to witness the interrogation. Oh, yes.
You will understand why I'm not when you find out what's inside the Crowbar.
Oh, no.
This man's too good at cliffhangers. I don't like it.
So the three of you, Eric, Hugo, and Ada, heading over. You three were headed to the Crowbar as well, correct?
I think so, yeah.
That is correct.
So you heading down, like following the way. Ada, you'd be familiar. In fact, probably all of you'd be familiar with the Crowbar. It is what could quite honestly be called the dingiest dive bar in Vartengard. It is very much a, drink at own risk sort of place. As you make your way down the road towards this dive bar, the relative quiet of the night is shattered as you hear essentially down the way what the hell? And there is a crashing of furniture and, the splintering of wood and the shattering of glass from up ahead.
I mean, I'm gonna speed up a bit. I want to see this.
Ada increases her speed to a light jog.
Just run.
Hugo starts sprinting
to keep up. He's too short.
They're going the same speed.
Very
Dwarf
dangerous over short
mate.
distances.
The tall elf and then the short dwarf.
You're literally skipping, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get you. Fuck. Jesus Christ.
Just get a piggyback.
You arrive.
I jump on Eric's back.
Just nearly crumples. Ran up to him. Stop, child. Just.
I keep running after.
So sprinting ahead, or moving at your various speeds, you arrive at the doorway to the crowbar. Inside, there is a bit of a standoff happening. To explain, you recognize the first thing that you clock very quickly is the body on the floor. You see a sort of a young, sort of middle-aged man, fairly sort of square, just sort of general square, rough-looking features, wearing similar sort of dark jacket and garbs that you've seen on most of the Razor Runners. He is currently holding his throat, which is just there is a pool of blood accumulating on the floor beneath him. As you approach the doorway, you see two Jotun standing just inside, who are anyone who has been to the crowbar before would know. What are their names? What did I call them again? Dag and Gorm, who are the bouncers essentially here, they're the bar's security. At the far end of the room, you see Ulf, who currently has this large, very rough-looking dwarf. He's got these very broad and rough features, and fairly what would be fairly hard eyes if they were not staring in blatant fear up at Ulf. He's bald on top with this long red braid stemming down the back of his head. And he wears a vest over this sleeveless tunic that gives him what he and his boys would probably call a more distinguished look. There is also, as you look over towards the bar, you see the barman Bran, who is this short, burly human man with sort of mutton chop beard and black and grey hair, who is currently pointing what can only be described as a sawed-off shotgun at Ulf.
I would like to hang back that possibly kind of matches the description of who she's actually there.
Looking around the room, beyond the people that I described, the only other person in the room seems to be someone fairly similarly, at least similarly dressed to the man that is currently bleeding out on the floor. There is a sort of like, from what you can see through the back, there does appear to be a back door to the tavern. No one's really making a move at the moment.
I would like to make my way to the back
Sorry?
entrance.
Cool.
Like
yeah, like you can start making your way around. Might take you a while, but you're talking like it'd be like okay, next on both sides of this building there are warehouses, and it'd be walking the whole way around one of these warehouses and up the back. It is quite literally like wedged into an alleyway.
God damn. Yeah, I'll start jogging.
While he starts jogging, Ada just like takes her money purse and like waves it in front of the bodyguards and be like, can we just negotiate our way out of this situation, fellas? Just the two of you?
Who are you talking to?
The
Dag
Yulton
and
at the
The
front
bouncers?
door. Yeah.
Oh, the bouncers.
Yeah.
As you enter, like, both of them, like, heads whip around to look at you, and then back, seem to be, like, now looking between you, sort of more, both of them hold out a hand, more to sort of, like, keep you out of it, rather than anything else. But, yeah, like, there's no real reaction to, within, the tavern, I will say,
Save some cash.
Within the tavern, I'll say, like, so Ulf, you've just entered, and basically, like, yeah, you've done this guy in on the ground, and then as he's approached you, as you've approached Sven, and then essentially dragging Sven over the table, it's put the other, like, so this other guy, you know, is taking a step back, seems to be ready, but obviously, you know, doesn't want to endanger his boss, shall we say, as he, you know, you've got your Sven on, like, Sven sort of like hunched forward on the table, pulling his, like, as he looks up, he's like, what do you want?
They had plenty of it, but you've still got some running through you, don't ya? Now, I want information. Alright? While you were in just a quick glance,
pulling his shirt, like, as you've grabbed him by the front of the shirt and pulled him across the table, you see essentially, like, right, like on the left side, basically just beneath his collarbone, there's the Razor Runner's symbol tattooed.
Alright. I take my knife that I just put it right against it, just enough to start cutting. This. I want all the information about it, right, Frizz? Cough it up.
Roll me a communication test, please. You can add intimidation if you have it. It's a +2 to the roll on top of your communication thing.
Rogue craves violence.
I love violence.
Alright, that is an 11 and 3 stunt points.
11 with 3 stunt points. How would you like to use your stunt points? You'd have a roll. You should have your role play stunts there. Stunt.
Where'd be my stunt table? There it is.
Also, Ada, Eric, and while we're here, Ada, Eric, and Hugo, can you roll me a perception check, please?
Ooh.
Well, thank you.
Are you sure, me?
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to, but...
Oh, I will.
Ooh.
Does seeing or hearing help?
Seeing will help.
Will searching help?
I
don't think I'm searching for anything.
No, this is just a straight up seeing thing.
Okay, thank you.
9.
14.
Mm-hmm.
12. And I got 2 stunt points. So... not sure if any of these will work. So just keep going.
Mm-hmm. So, while this is all going on...
To... Sorry, you go.
No, you go. No, you go.
I would like to use stunned silence for 3 to basically stun everyone that's there around me in this moment. So you're so impressive, you leave all those who witness you display completely dumbfounded and unable to speak for at least a full round. Outside combat, this lasts at the very least long enough for your character to begin to do something else. Basically, I want everyone around me to be scared right now.
So you recognize in this moment that, like, Sven's staring up at you, and this is, by all meaning of the word, by all meaning of the term, a dressed up thug. This is a man who his entire idea of business is paying as little as he can for whatever he wants, and just there is no like wit or cunning to him. Essentially, he is just he is a thug. He is sort of, as he's staring up at you, he opens his mouth to talk about 3 or 4 different times and just shuts it again. Like, you see genuine fear battling with this, sort of not even unspoken rule, this rule of no, we don't talk. Like, everyone around you seems to be frozen in this moment, staring and like almost waiting for someone else to swing so that the violence can start, shall we say. But also
slowly push the knife in a little bit further, trying to really destroy that tattoo.
As this is happening, from the door, I'll say, Eric and Ada, you see off to the side from where Ulf is standing, there is a stairwell leading up to a second floor. In the, what do you call it, like the mezzanine, like the corner piece, in this shadowed corner, you see a tall, lithe figure.
There he is.
Standing, with this like long, almost like this long, almost like bird's nest of wiry hair over one shoulder. Just seems to be standing and watching, one hand on the wall. Just seems to be watching what's going on. As this silence proceeds and sort of lingers, you watch as this shape, almost like the shoulders seem to slump a little bit, and she steps forward. And as she makes her way down the stairs, she almost like chuckles a little bit. She says, "Well, if you wanted information, all you had to do was ask." Looking up the stairs, you see a tall and slender dark elf woman. There's long, coarse grey hair that hangs in bunches over her sharp, angular face and shoulders. She wears this long tunic and pants of dark grey, trimmed with a deep burgundy red. And she sort of pauses on the stairs and stands, looking down at Ulf. She also has this like long, almost sort of, not so much ragged, but almost like sort of long drapes shawl that hangs over her shoulders. She's just looking down at Ulf with this half amused, half, like, expectant look.
I sort of cast my gaze towards her while keeping an eye on Sven that's still firmly in my grasp. I pull my knife away from the tattoo, and as I do so, I try to do it in such a way that it flicks across it, leaving a cut just deep enough that it will scar straight through it. We'll then start answering some questions. What was with what happened earlier? That attack? What was that about?
She opens her mouth to answer, and then, like, glances down at Sven. She says, "These sorts of questions should not be discussed in business quarters. Please, come upstairs."
No. I don't think that's gonna happen, okay? You see how I am right now, alright? No. I make the fucking rules now. You're coming down here or standing up there on your little platform, and we're gonna talk. Alright? I don't care about this one. I don't care about your corporation. I care about those people. Show a backbone and speak now, yeah?
This broad smile splits her face almost. These bright white teeth as she looks down. She nods in this almost sort of impressed, like, fashion. I am aware that you see yourself as one who can simply break through any wall that he finds with the strength of his arm. But I would have a look to your friends and understand that you, in this world, in this city, in my home, are one man. Now I can understand your anger, and there are answers I would also like to find in this. But your answers will not come from blood. And they certainly won't come from this idiot. And she looks down at Sven.
Fuck. All right. And I just, like, drag him fully across the table and drop him on his face.
Yeah, there's this, like, moment of, as you step away, and he's just like, there's a moment of, like, he sort of relaxes a bit, and then dragged over, he's like, shit!
Ada gives the two Yultons a tip in their hands. It's like, thanks, boys! And then just kind of saunters in.
Mm-hmm. The, like, sort of, like, clinks into their hand as they both sort of, like, oh, thanks. And then, but still seem to be watching Ulf as he makes his way upstairs.
Eric's just gonna squeeze past, like, over the bleed out guy, just like, yeah, he's gone. I can't save that. Excuse me.
Ada goes, if you see an angry looking dwarf, just send him upstairs. Yeah.
Hugo just breaks through the back door like, I'm ready.
We're gonna leave, and he'll just pop through the door.
Where is he?
Give him some credit, all right? He's just gonna sneak in. You just see a hammer and a head poke out, like looking at kneecap level. We're not fighting. Sorry, we're not fighting, are we?
Nope. Upstairs.
Ah! Fuck!
Making your way upstairs to this. Upstairs, there is you enter into the single room. It's fairly large. It's about the same size as the bar downstairs. There's a fire crackling in a hearth off to the left. The whole area smells of incense and herbs. As you enter in, there is a desk at the far end of the room next to a large window that looks out onto the street. The dark elf woman wanders around, gestures to a number of chairs on the opposite side to the desk before moving around to the other side and sitting down, just sort of looking over each of you. She turns and essentially gestures to Eric, Ada, and Hugo with three of her fingers. She says, "Now I am aware of you three. You, however, I don't believe we've been introduced."
We're going to keep it that way.
Very well. So I understand that you have some questions. You may ask them.
Who ordered that attack? What was wrong with them? They were there was nothing about them that was normal.
No.
Who's behind it all? I want a name.
I fear that our current questions are aligned.
And why were your boys' orders as a distraction to a murder that happened in another part of town?
They are not my boys, as it were. Merely ones who I have what you might call a partnership with. And that usefulness is, well, running its course. Especially with them doing away with this sort of thing. Now, I don't entirely know. As far as I am aware, there was no attack ordered on the drunken Draka, and it is definitely not one that I would have lent my support for. But if you wish to find answers, and you are willing to pass those answers on to me, and you're willing to keep this meeting between us, I can tell you where to find them.
Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm more than okay with that.
Yeah, mate, I'm pretty sure with that. Question to the GM, by the way. Can I do an engineering check?
Sure.
I would like to, mainly as I'm walking up, looking for support beams in this bar.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you
Sure.
think.
That's plus 2. Hold on, get my character sheet up. Engineering, so plus 2. 13.
13. I take it from all this you are looking to bring the bar down?
if I was to need to bring a section of the bar down or so, yes, the most easily accessed support beam. Since you said it is a narrow bar, I'm not expecting too much. But there would be specific beams, I'd say.
You recognize there is essentially a large amount of the support for this building comes from the buildings on either side. The reason that it is built into this space, essentially, is because it took much less timber when the walls on either side are just the walls of the buildings that were already there. There is one at the front and back. Essentially, the building's also not very deep. At the front and back, basically, there is a central support beam for the roof top, like point, essentially.
Yep, the apex.
The apex, that's the word. I was going to say zenith. I'm like, no, that's not right. Like, the apex of the roof. Beyond that, and you reckon if you were to... Do you mind?
Is that him breathing?
To having
The pupper is providing ambiance. it's Sven having a panic attack.
There's someone.
downstairs.
There's just someone like 2 streets down trying to start their lawnmower. You. Yeah, you reckon if you were to take out even like one of those support beams, at least half of this building would come down.
Good to know.
Ada, does Ada know who this person is, what this person's name is? Are they aware of her?
Can you roll me?
And can I attempt to make a contact out of this NPC?
You certainly can. What does it take? Well, what do you have to roll for a contact?
You can attempt to make a contact out of an NPC with a successful communication persuasion test. Sadly, it's not gambling. The GM will set the target number based on the likelihood of you knowing the NPC or having mutual friends. The more distant the NPC's homeland or social class from yours, the more difficult the test will be, given that Ada has 2 social classes, which is also useful. A contact will be friendly, but won't go out of their way to help you with that additional motivation. You can't make a contact out of an NPC who already dislikes you or is an enemy.
Sure. Roll me a... Yeah, so roll me a persuasion check, please.
So, 3 plus 9... 17.
17. You have seen this woman around. You, and have it being, you have not seen... You know that from what you've gathered and from what others of your crew have pointed out, she hasn't been around for very long, relatively. It's only been in like the last few years that she's really been seen within the city. As far as you can tell, she also, beyond doing sort of like, beyond just general chit-chat and sightings, she doesn't make a lot of noise, shall we say, around the city. However, you do recognize, this to be Morrigan.
Badass name.
And yeah, so she essentially showed up a few years ago and very quickly set up this tavern. You say with a 17, like, yes, you'd be able to set this up as a contact.
And we have a mutual friend, Ulf.
Indeed.
That's a strong word.
You keep using that word.
Very strong word.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah, he keeps using it with Eric for years. I don't think he knows what that word means.
What's the word?
Friend.
I don't even think I got taught how to spell it.
Ada just is just as you. It's the way that you commonly most do business. So of course.
She reaches down, down to open a drawer. You hear like the sort of some rattling of what sounds like coins or bits of metal. She pulls out a tag which is attached to a key. She holds it up, sort of like looks at it. She says, "Ah, yes. You will find them at Warehouse 36, in the industrial districts. It's an old warehouse that got abandoned by Bragi and his ilk a few years ago. They've been using it as a base ever since."
Well, I know where I'm going.
But why, Morrigan? Why would someone want to use your associates to do this? Like, why does someone want attention on you?
My suspicion at this stage is I don't think whoever it is has me in mind. But to be fair, if someone is messing with the Razor Runners for any reason, well, they could just be an easy target in most cases. Let's just say that when I do hire them, I don't do it for their brains. She stands up and wanders around towards the door, opens it up and gestures down the stairs again.
As they're kind of leaving the office, Ada just like kind of starts wandering off and then just turns around and goes, "Do you know of a mutual family member? Olag Thrask."
Sort of pauses for a moment, squints, and says, "The name is familiar, but I can't place it. Why?"
Well, fascinating family member who... The dots on this mystery are quite interesting. That I was curious, that the upper, more social areas of town were left exposed with all the little kerfuffle that the Razor Runners had. And then I find this, go to investigate to see, a good gossip and good information is always power. And wandering the streets is a family member of ours just looking and mysteriously drawn to where someone had been murdered in the distraction created by we can call them former associates really now, knowing the look on your face. And I was just curious.
Yes, it's... I can't place it at the moment.
Can she just run a perception check just to see if she thinks that Morrigan is lying to her or not?
Yeah, go for it. That's either really, really good or really, really
It's 11.
bad.
Do you know what I mean? You know when it's like you roll like your score on your character sheet helps you out, but you're like, it's not great.
So Yeah. By the looks on her,
No.
by the look on her face, she seems genuinely she seems genuine.
Mm-hmm.
As far as you can tell, she, as from what you are seeing, she has the sort of the furrowed brow in thought of at the end of the day, as far as you can tell by looking at her, it's almost like, well, this could be something important, or this could be I had an old
Nothing.
college boyfriend called Olaug, and I'm getting this confused.
100%.
Yeah. Olaug Thrask was wild in his college days.
I don't know. That story seems pretty fleshed out already. I'm starting to get suspicious.
But yeah, she shakes her head and says, but it's... I guess it sounds like at least he's a possible lead in this case. Or
I'll
at the
just
very
leave you with
least,
that
a good source. Don't know. As you were. Heading downstairs, both the bouncers sort of tighten, and you see the bartender straightens as well as you make your way out into the night. Across the way as you head out into the night air again, the night is quiet and still for a moment until from across the way there's just this. As you see Khan step out of the alleyway and he walks and he's like, "Mate, that was brilliant. That was like you went in there and that guy was like, what? And you just scar. And it was, what the? Are you out of your goddamn mind? This one." He turns around to the three of you. Was like, this one's fucking nuts. Just walks over and he just seems like a child, absolutely giddy. As he's just like, yeah, it was good. Anyway, what are y'all doing?
I just pat him on the shoulder gently.
Khan, what are you doing here?
Oh, well, I was watching whatever the fuck that was. But, yeah, I don't know. Then you guys showed up and ruined it. But,
Look, I got it out of my system a bit. I do feel a bit better. It was, slitting that guy's throat was kind of cathartic. Don't really know what that word means, but I know people say it when they feel better. So, yeah. And, fuck Sven. Hopefully he'll remember me with that scar. Anyway.
Yeah, no, Sven doesn't remember shit. Anyway, what's the go? What are you doing?
Well, we have some info of where those people that attacked the tavern at. So I
Oh,
think we're
Sven
going
spoke,
to...
did he?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Boys aren't gonna like that.
Not him.
Yeah. No, Sven.
Yeah, and
He
then
came
you
from
just
Sven.
hear Ada just slaps Eric over the back of the head.
Ow!
Sven
Why?
spoke up, and that's the only reason I didn't slit his throat.
It's really disrespectful not to call Sven by his name. He said that he likes to be called Sven Eric. Okay? We don't misname people here.
I give Eric this look of you utter another word and you'll be like Sven.
Eric's jotting down in his head, never get near him when he wants to be cathartic. When he's feeling cathartic, run away.
Yeah. Khan looks over. Oh, he's like, yeah, that's not gonna go well for him. Anyway, I had stuff to do. Sigrid's not gonna be happy. I gotta go. But you four have a good night. And he pats Ulf on the hip, essentially. He's like, you take care of yourself, mate. Turns off and starts to just sort of wander down the road. You can hear him sort of as he's walking away doing Tell me what you know. It's just like he's just playing it out like Batman in his head.
God, so cute. I love it.
Well, it sounds like he's having a wonderful time. Do we have any leads at all?
We know where they are.
Warehouse 36.
Could we possibly, like, this time maybe stake it out? Maybe check it out and not, like,
Practice something
use
called
Hugo's
restraint.
head as a battering ram.
Look, you're
Any
asking
time.
a lot. You're
Excuse me.
really stretching the friendship. But probably
We have a
good idea.
friendship, do we? Fantastic.
We're friends. I knew you'd
It's a
like
figure
that.
of speech, yeah.
No, you use the word friends.
In that speech, you use the F word.
Hey, Eric. Now
Hmm?
you've got 3 friends.
Oh God, how did that happen?
Congratulations. You're
I've-
almost. One day you might make it out of make it into double digits.
Please kill me
Oh.
when that day comes.
One more, and
think
you can
his
get a
head would
decent
blow
D
off.
and D party.
I don't want to run that. Because I know I'm going to have to be the one to run that, and I don't want to.
But casing it out is probably a smarter idea than what I just did, in all honesty. Would you like to lead that one?
Oh, I was just suggesting I'm not really that kind of.
Fair.
You seem to
fair.
have the skills in violence and grr and arg.
Then may I say then yes, restraint is definitely needed because we don't know where we're walking into. It could be a trap. There could be multitude of them. Two, like there could be
Who are they? Who are they?
the half coked out of their minds barbarians that there could be more. I'm just saying.
Let's be real. Do we really want to, if they are there, do we really want to fight them, or do we just want to bring the building down on top of them? Because they'd be a lot easier to deal with if we just bring the building.
Searching through that rubble would be a bit of a pain in the ass, wouldn't it?
And also finding out who
Yeah.
did it and who issued the order would be
Information.
much harder if they're dead.
I mean, pick your battle, mate.
I pick the one that allows us to advance our lead. That one.
How
That
about
one's
we
preferred.
kidnap one of them?
He does bring up a good point, though. If we kill them all, then we don't have to follow any lead. They're all gone.
That's
Problem solved.
not how that works. There could be more.
You know, yeah.
Then we
Bring
just
their
drop another
building down
building
as
on them.
well.
There's only so many buildings before the city is no more.
That's not a problem to me. I'm gonna be honest.
It's going to
I'm
be a problem for
actually
me
really-
because I live here.
I'm
But
actually
it could
really
mean more
intrigued by
customers
the
for you, meaning
possibility.
more money.
No, I can't cure death.
Yet?
Gout.
Question mark?
Yes. They can cure gout.
Yes, I've treated gout, but
Building
that
collapses,
is not.
everyone gets
I
gout.
can't do that. I'm good, but I'm not that good.
They trained for years in a temple high in the mountains. They have perfected the art of curing gout.
Well, look,
Did you say they've ousted gout?
They've ousted gout. Yes. Ousted gout.
we could
Just
go
write it
scout it out.
More songs.
We can go
We
have a
never
little
lived it
scout out
down.
now. Maybe I'll send a few of my, depending how dangerous it is, some of my little eyes during the day might wander by and have a little eye out. We can get a bit of a picture, see some comings and goings.
It's fairly good conditions now to stake out. I mean,
Mhm.
look, I can't even see Hugo at the moment. I'm assuming he's over here.
I'm
And
gonna
look, you've only
whack him in the
killed-
back of the leg with a hammer, just lightly.
Ah, never mind.
And
He's behind me.
Like right in the
technic-
center of the calf.
Hey,
And
Ada.
technically, did you kill someone today or not? So, like, we may have some space on your calendar.
I've got a question for you, Ada, real quick.
Sure.
Could you let me know if any of your lot see another one of my lot?
Sure.
Just on the off chance.
I'll consider that a favor.
I appreciate it.
You don't want to give her many of those.
And then
Wolf
she
is
gets
just
out her
getting
little
so many
book.
favors now.
Just gets out her little book, writes down,
Yes.
and then
Mate,
puts
you are
the little
digging
book
yourself
back
a steep hole.
No.
Wolf doesn't understand favors. It's okay.
No, not the book. Oh.
It
He's like,
is
"Whoa,
like
am I written
that's
there?"
another thing
Shows
I
the page,
imagine like
rips it.
very much in Varley's crew. Like favors are not a thing. It is like you just you are kin. You are all work together. Like you just
It's a
do
yes
what
or a
needs
no.
to be
It's
done.
simple, yeah.
You know, your problem
as you
very
told.
much in that like idea of like your problems are my problems sort of thing.
Yeah.
So this is just like, yeah, sure.
There will come a time where Ulf will need to do so many things.
No, I'm not doing it. I have a favor that says you will. I'm not doing that bit then. It's like, you also agreed. Pulls down little list of favors right here that you would.
Just literal scroll.
Cool.
By the end of
So
it, it's a contract.
what are you doing?
Let us head in that general direction to see the vibe of the area.
Mhm.
And what's going on around down there. Like, is it like completely dead? Like everyone's like nowhere, no people are like keeping a wide berth from there, or is it a very active kind of space?
Mhm.
Are they being, very secretive, or is it like, this chick has a key? Did we get that key? Or-
You did not, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of this meeting not happening.
Just
Valid.
checking.
You make your way down like through to the warehousing areas. As you make your way towards Warehouse 36, we're going to take a quick break. Because, it is now 9:30 and we need to have a quick moment to stretch our legs and grab some water and all that stuff. So, we will be back in just a moment. Do not go anywhere. Bye-bye.
Huzzah!
How's it going, everybody? We hope you're enjoying this episode of our TTRPG adventure, Echoes of Ragnarok. If you'd like to catch one of our live streams, we stream sessions live on Twitch every second Thursday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. On the other Thursdays, you can usually catch me on the same channel at the same time, playing some video games, doing some art, or just hanging with all of you lovely people. Now, before we jump back into the action, I would like to just take a moment to shout out our channel affiliates, starting with Green Ronin. Now, Green Ronin are best known for the adventure game engine or Age system, which boasts an impressive array of fantastic system sourcebooks. As well as Fantasy Age, which is the system that we use for the Echoes of Ragnarok stream, you can find Modern Age, Blue Rose, and Dragon Age, yes, that Dragon Age, among many, many more. And if you'd like to get your hands on any of the Green Ronin sourcebooks or resources, you can use the code METALGM on checkout to get 5% off any order through the Green Ronin web store. Also, if you're looking for some awesome software and toolkits to make your own immersive TTRPG maps, then you need to check out our channel affiliate Arkenforge. With Arkenforge, you can make awesome TTRPG battle maps to fit a range of game themes and settings, which can be easily exported for use both in your in-person games or for your favorite virtual tabletop platform. And right now, you can use the code METALGM to get $5 off the Arkenforge toolkit and start making your own TTRPG maps. But with that all said, let's get back to the action. As the party heads into the warehousing district, already during the night, it's not super busy around here. But as you make your way down, you find that there are a number of warehouses here that seem to either be set up for long storage or seem to be abandoned and, sort of boarded up. And a lot of the guard presence and general sort of worker presence seems to diminish down to essentially one or two guards every so often wandering on sort of a very half dazed, shall we say, sort of night patrol. Heading down, you do eventually find Warehouse 36, the letters painted on the side, long worn away, barely visible on the stone brick of the walls. The windows appear, for the most part, boarded up. The entire building is covered in like sort of rough engravings and graffiti. As you approach, what would you like to do?
Is there... Oh, go. Is there anywhere we can sort of climb up to get a better vantage of the area?
Roll me a perception check, please.
I imagine searching wouldn't help with this. Or perhaps it would.
Searching? Yeah, this
I'm
would,
searching
searching it would.
Searching for a good vantage
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
That is a 13.
13. Cool. You looking around, there's a few spots you think you could probably climb up onto the roof. It'd be a bit of a hike. But beyond that, you see like a few crates that you could get, a few more feet off the ground. But to get like a proper elevated view, you think you'd probably have to get up onto one of the roofs.
Wolf's going to give that a crack.
Cool. Give me I believe it's a strength climbing check.
Strength.
Really need to get my GM screen back.
Oh, okay. So that is 16, 18 with 6 stunt points.
Nice. Where are we here? Is it strength climbing? It is strength climbing. Awesome. Fairly easily, sort of like after having a look around, ducks off to the side to one of the buildings, and sort of like just after a quick little assess, starts to grabbing onto various sort of outcroppings and digging into parts of where the grout in the stone bricks has worn away. You pull yourself up onto the roof fairly easily and fairly quickly. Cool. What are the rest of you doing?
Eric is going to cast the Sense Minds spell again to try to see, just with his magic, how many bodies are in that warehouse, because all of them can potentially be bogeys.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Roll the spell.
Roll target number. Let's go. Damn it. Wait.
I believe in you.
Damn it.
Aww.
I rolled an 11. I need a 13.
Aww.
Meh.
So you, like attempting to sort of reach for this spell, like expanding out your mind, you feel the spell sort of just fizzle. Doesn't seem to have taken.
Curses.
You just see like Eric just like, ow.
Now, this may have occurred while they were in the area, but Ada's gonna break off from the group for a second and flirt with one of the wandering guards, and just try and get information about what's going, on there. From one of them, and bribe them if she has to, kind of thing.
Cool. Can you roll me a communications test, please?
Sure. This time be good.
Blessings to the dice.
Blessings to the dice. Okay.
Blessings.
Why have I forgotten how to count? It's so weird.
Whenever you're counting on a TTRPG stream, it just disappears.
Yeah.
Maths is gone.
Mhm.
That's
like-
why I have an Excel sheet. It's easier.
16.
There are genuinely times that I roll, especially when rolling like with Fantasy Age with 3d6. It's like I'll roll it and just look at them and be like, yes, these are all letters that I know. I don't
What are
know. I don't know
words?
how they correlate at all.
I'm reading
Cool.
it.
So wait, sorry. After all that, what did you get total?
Now I've
She forgot.
Professional stream.
16.
16.
We never claimed to be professionals.
It's all right. We're nerds. We're not teachers. None of us are teachers.
None of us.
No.
None of us work in
I
schools.
just look the other
None
way.
of us.
I
none of
almost did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
math.
proud of that bachelor.
Mm-hmm. No.
Remember, everyone. Teachers are only one lesson ahead of you.
16. So you, as you're approaching, there's one of the guards who's wandering the other way, just very much like a lazy night stroll, just sort of wandering, and seems to be almost like absent-mindedly looking down different alleyways, in a way that very much almost screams that he's not actually looking for anything. He is just going through the motions almost. As you sort of split off from the rest of the group, he seems to turn and like looks at the four of you and gives this little sort of nod, and then notices you approaching and sort of stops, folds his arms.
I just want to say, I just realized I have 2 4s and a
Let's
5.
go.
I put a 5, so I just want to...
A thing for flirt.
2 4s. She's got Eric and Hugo.
I would like to use flirt. Choose one
go.
character who is present and immediately make an opposed communications versus willpower test.
Oh,
If
okay.
you wins, that character becomes enamored with you.
You're gonna. This man could be married.
Can you roll
You're
me
just
can you
breaking
roll me a
something.
communications test, please?
Sure. Don't watch this one down.
Have you all seen that thing where someone yells out change?
Like the improv.
If I got another 2, I got 2 5s this time.
No, it doesn't. It does not stud points again. We're not gonna get. We're not getting into a chain flirt here.
We all start blushing.
15.
Eric's
and I
just
will...
like feeling hot under the
This
collar.
is
Just
just.
like,
This is just.
how's it affecting me? Help.
15, and Ken from that stunt that I gained from my last roll, I will give Eric the stunt point to use in the next.
Chain flirt, new ability unlocked. Oh, no.
Well, you're
Oh,
giving it
so
to
good.
me? I'm
you-
so spoiled.
So yes, so you approach this man, as he sort of says, like a very sort of like quite a round face, this sort of shaggy, slightly unkempt, like just barely maintained hair and this sort of rough looking beard. He's wearing the full like the uniform, the collar's slightly undone, obviously in the sort of not needing the full get up in this sort of setup. As he rocks back, he's like, "Oh, can I help you?"
Hi. Ada just like,
Damn it.
I'm a bit lost.
Flips
Sorry,
notepad.
like, I need a little bit of help, and I was wondering, and that little bit that's unbuttoned, she like leans forward and just like fiddles with it a little bit. It's like,
as like the moment that you sort of like, you even just say hi, you see his whole stature soften. It's almost like his arms sort of come down a bit, and his chest comes up as he looks over. And the moment that you mentioned you need help, you see the chest almost like come out fully, and he seems to lean on something that isn't there. As he's like, "Oh,
look, so my father was such an important man, whatever.
Oh.
And he's sent me down to this area because he's like, I want you to learn about the world and about my business and investments. And he's like wanting to invest in some of like the warehouses in this area. And like, I tried to go to the library and look, but who has time for books? I'm not that kind of
There's
smart.
no
And
one,
she's
there's
just
no one
like,
important around the bookstore
and
now.
I've always thought the knowledge of a well-traveled man is always what's gonna, really help me.
Yeah, well, I've traveled every road of this city, so I could gladly show
You
you.
could have so many stories. So he was looking at this warehouse, and she says, like, what number's the warehouse? 36. It's just like
36.
38. Okay, and he was saying, and he's like wanted to know if it's a safe area, if there's anything strange going on, because look, you would really help me out, because basically, if I'm able to like win this investment and do it either like pick it right or pick it wrong, I'll be able to spend more time in the area and like invest more. You know what I mean? And really just, could you help me like get to know this space?
Oh, yes.
Is there any secret back alleys that people don't know about that could be like a dangerous thing to know about? Someone so smart as you.
As a proud and knowledgeable man of the Vartengard Citadel, I would be happy to oblige to such a lovely lady, of course. Please, let me show you. And he, like, offers his elbow out and is like, walks you down. He's like, so yes, the number 38, it's a most wonderful, wonderful choice. You have a keen eye, I see. You see, it is, well, it's stone. It has a remarkable security. I believe it is currently being used by some of the dwarves of Torenborg, who are currently using it for some sort of long-haul storage.
But what about that one? And she like points at like 37 and then points, that one, and points at 36. Like, is there a better one nearby that I'd be like, hey, Daddy, I know you talked about this one, but I heard about that one and I heard that's the best deal.
Well,
so, get in the market before anyone knows. Because I know this guy down in the area, he's so smart. And like maybe, there could be like future like investments, like commissions or something. I don't know.
Oh, of course. Many of these, as I mentioned with number 38 here, as good as a choice it is, they are used by some of the larger international trade routes as sort of long-haul storage. But you do find that some of them, you do realize this voice he is putting on, it is entirely him just like trying to sound sophisticated. It is not his voice at all.
Really?
As he turns, he says, but you see, some of these more like further down, they have been, as far as I know, abandoned and potentially ripe for a young investor, of course. Number 37 is a good choice. It would be it would be a wonderful opportunity for you and your father. Of course, if you were intending to move here, I would love to make both of your acquaintances and help you both move and assimilate into the city of Vartengard.
She's like placing her hand on his like arm, like just Ada's full on laying it on, and she's like, "But what about that 36 one? What about that? Is that big one?"
That I think 37 would be better.
Are you holding out on me?
No,
I
wouldn't do that.
Come on, you're not telling me something about 36. Come on.
No, it's not.
Give me the gossip.
It's not proper for a young lady such as yourself. It's rough. It's
gossip scandal. Tell me.
No.
I get so shut up in like the social circles and all their gossip. I don't get to hear like the real world, please.
No, it's beneath everything that we such a creature such as yourself would not be able to, shouldn't be aware of such things. It's not.
This sounds so exciting. I can't wait to tell the other girls, please.
Other girls?
I'm not wearing a skirt. I'm not
Oh
doing
no.
it.
Hey, yo, you got friends?
He's just
They
like,
coming
well,
too?
The other guard just slides across.
Hugo is also just like slides across other friends.
Eric just dragging him out of frame like,
It's like, no.
no,
No.
it's a lie. It's a lie, mate. Shut. Come on.
I have, well, I suppose. He sort of looks around and then like leans in as he goes like,
Come on, we'll go to a corner. And she like drags him just like into an alley and pushes her body close to him against a wall. Just like,
We're just like literally
I-
sitting there in the street, just like,
I see. Well, I, from what I understand, a gang of, shall we say, ruffians has sort of set up a base within, Warehouse 36. So such people could be difficult to remove. Of course, except of someone of my great stature and physical prowess.
how would you remove such people if you were like, is there a back entrance or is there like access or sounds so exciting? What would you do?
Oh, no, you see, what these guards don't realize, what these thugs do not realize, all of these warehouses, they have the windows all barred up and they have the doors locked, but all of them have, what do you call it, like a roof port that you can't lock because it needs to be accessed at all times. So they take a bit to open, but they're there.
You are amazing.
Yes, excellent. We should. I'm about to. I think I'm done. I'm about to be relieved. We should go and get a drink. We should.
We should.
Yes.
Here, I've
Good.
just got to go and run and do this one thing, but here's my card, and gives him the card of like the cheapest girl that he's got.
It's like, oh, very good. I will.
But it's not even that. It's like, you know how there's these phone numbers you can give somebody,
Yeah,
but
it's a
when
fake
you
phone.
ring it, it's a fake phone number.
it's a fake address.
No.
Did you just hand him
Hugo gets a phone
Hugo's
call.
number?
One,
He shows up
one.
in Hugo's warehouse. He's like, "The fuck do you want, mate?" He's got the 2 slots for his eyes as well.
as he like sort of takes it and he's like, ah, yes, and he sort of, even like sort of takes it and is like, yes, I will cherish it. I will meet you at the tavern in a moment. You do whatever you need to. I will be there momentarily. Okay. And he like sort of just sort of hurries off into the night.
Yeah, she twirls away. And then literally as soon as he's out of sight, her whole body language changes. She's like,
I pull out
You
some
feel bad.
phone
You
and
had
be
to
like,
watch
yo,
that.
mate.
That was awful. I don't think I have enough sanitizer to make me feel clean after that.
so rooftop entrance.
Pulls
Fellas.
out a bottle of whiskey. Normally part for this.
Look,
Rooftop entrance though,
he wasn't that sleazy, so I didn't murk him.
Didn't murk him.
Honestly, your thing about the books almost had me, but if you said it, if it wasn't you and someone said it to me, I probably would have fallen for it too.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm a hands-on learner.
Please get me to this rooftop before I vomit.
Cool.
Hugo is
Hands-on
honestly
learner.
confused because he was being completely literal with what he just said. Let's head to that rooftop, shall we?
Cool. Can
Just like waving down Ulf, like, Ulf, get off the roof.
get
It's
on
that
the
Roof, mate. That's number 37.
You're on the wrong roof.
Come on, this one.
Would I potentially see the access point from the roof I'm on?
You, looking around, you do see, they're fairly, like, looking around from where you are on the roof that you are on. You can see a bit further down towards the apex of the roof, there's a split with these two large, almost like barn doors coming off either side. Generally, it's a sort of a port that's designed to be opened to essentially allow a crane to bring, to sort of essentially drop stuff in to then be distributed throughout the warehouse.
Is that hanging off the front?
No, it is like in the roof. So it's in the front end of the roof, but it's actually part of the top of the roof. It's not like a doorway in the front of it.
Ah. So we couldn't say, like, throw a rope on it and climb up into it?
No. You'd be getting up onto the roof. You could throw a roof. You
Could throw a roof.
could throw a roof.
That's right.
You could throw
the roof.
Damn,
You
you,
can
guys
throw-
are joining like
yes,
Tony
you could-
was. Shit.
you could throw a
anyone.
roof to Ulf, and then he could pull you up
Damn,
to the
they-
rope.
They're
But-
both strong as shit. Yeah, I'm sitting this one out. You guys got it.
You go into Hugo's workshop and there's just this, like, miniature city. He goes around going,
It's like Stitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
here's a
Same
noise.
sounds too.
Immediately hack voice and no one sees it.
Cool. So yes, you could throw a rope up to Ulf, and he could pull you up to the roof.
I have a rope.
But you would not be able to like throw up a rope and then climb into the hole.
I see. Lower us down a rope, you tall bastard. B-word.
I look for somewhere like sturdy enough on the roof to sort of tie the rope to. I'm also going to hold it. I've got 20 yards of rope, so I imagine that would be enough to lower down to help them.
That's about 20 meters.
I start lowering it down.
Yeah. Cool.
And I wrap it around my arm, ready to just reinforce and pull up.
Okay.
I'm going first. I'm going to start climbing up.
Cool. Can I get a strength? I will have a strength check from Ulf. You can add might if you had it.
Might?
Nope.
No.
No, so just strength then. And a strength climbing check, or just a strength check from, I guess, everyone else if you're climbing up this way.
Are there any stairs?
13.
All right, I got
With the strength
13.
of 0.
Eric looks down the side of the building and sees the escalator. Like, it's no, there are no stairs.
You said there's a crane. Sometimes people have to get
that's
up
fair.
on the roof.
There's
Like,
no.
how are they
I
gonna
got
operate
13.
the crane if they
I'll
can't
say
get on the roof?
there's no crane that you can see. It seems that this is for some sort of like, if there were like a movable crane to lower cargo in, then it'd be there. But
So it like goes along the walls, goes down. You see a bunch of gears and pulleys where they like crank it so it moves it forwards and backwards and lowers it down.
Could
Ooh,
we
I could
argue
be-
that it's a
Get me in the
dexterity,
claw machine.
or is it definitely a strength?
sorry.
I mean, once we can get up there, I'll help Ulf and we'll just pull you up.
Cool, because I rolled 10, so I...
Okay, so what order are we going in? Let's go that way. So
Me first.
Hugo's going first. Eric's going second, or is Ada going second?
I can go third. It's all good.
Sure, I'll go second. Although I've done worse. I don't think you guys understand. I have a very small body.
Yeah, you should be right. We'll all pull you
We'll
up.
just tie you to the rope and just.
I feel like
Just tie it to your
Eric would
wrist.
have the insight of literally tying it onto his waist and holding on so he can kind of use his feet as leverage.
Cool.
Ada shames her forefathers and ancestors on the boat by rolling a 10 and getting there, but
Cool.
not with the agility of a sailor does she climb this rope.
So yeah. So
Been a
wait,
while.
what did we all get in the end?
I got
I got a
9.
13.
Cool.
Let's all say it again all at once. So
Ready?
none
1,
numbers.
2, 3.
10.
13.
13.
9.
Cool. So it's a bit of work. And especially getting
Also,
the moment that, like, so obviously once Hugo is up the top, he sort of also starts bringing up the other two. You also recognize, I'll say Ulf, especially through all of this, and Ada, you recognize that you've made a bit of noise doing this. So while you haven't heard any alarm or any sort of movement other than what you've heard, there's definitely been a couple of knocks and bangs
Ow.
on the way up.
Ow! Son of a... Can't hold me bloody steady!
shake.
I was doing that.
Cool. So, but you are now all at the top of the roof.
We wanted to be Assassin's Creed. We ended up being the Scooby Gang.
Like, Eric's a little just bit puffed out, just like...
Didn't even
Why don't they not
climb,
have
mate.
stairs for these things?
We
you
lifted you
athletically
up. We
die?
pulled you up.
They do have stairs for these things on the inside of the building.
Damn
Eric,
it.
do you
man.
think it would be a good idea to make roofs for people to sneak into, like stairs for people to sneak into places? Do you think that would be a good thing that they should just invest in potentially?
I don't know, man. I'm a doctor, not a burglar.
I
Well-
saw you picking those locks.
We're learning things every day, aren't we?
Shut up, you.
We'll
There's
have a
no
word with the
secrets
ones
among
inside about making some stairs here.
friends.
Do you think gout would make it easier to climb a building?
No! I can say with full certainty it does not. And it won't. What is everyone's obsession with that disease?
I think it's going to
proclaimed
follow you
yourself.
around for a long time.
Hey,
So-
at least we're not calling you depressed right now.
Just gouty.
You know what? Fine, I'll take that.
He's all gout of depression.
No, it's still that's not important right now.
Ulf just starts wrapping the rope up.
I would like to try and sneak.
Cool.
Yes, let's sneak.
Can
Next.
can everyone who wants to roll me a stealth check, please?
That's under dexterity, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would assume so.
A dexterity check if you do not have stealth.
Woo.
10.
13.
11.
I got a 9, but they're all. I mean, no, I got 10, and they're all 3s.
Cool. Can I also ask what everyone got on their stunt dice, please?
I've got it.
5.
3.
6.
Okay.
Roll up your number so he doesn't have to listen to us all.
No, I like audio is good because that helps. But
Wait, no, it's backwards. What?
yeah. So you start to make your way across the roof towards these towards this cargo entrance. You do see, this is sort of long, almost like barn doors towards the, like, meeting at the peak of this rooftop. Looking over, it seems that they are more or less latched, shall we say. In a very simple manner that you gather, they can just be pulled open. However, you do recognize they look fairly heavy and also seem to be, in this particular case, I'll say, Hugo, you in particular recognize there are a lot of rusted spots on this has not seen action in a while.
We are near the ocean. These are most likely iron, so they'd be heavily rusted. I'm looking at them like, we would have better luck if we smash these open than opening them without making them squeak like all hell.
Is this portal like made out of glass or is it just like
No,
What's it made of? Yeah.
they're,
Metal?
they're No, they're timber. Like they're
Timber?
timber slats, timber boards that are then like essentially like edged with iron, and then have the iron hinges on them.
Are they studded, bolted, screwed, nailed?
Appear to be essentially riveted,
Riveted.
like
Yeah,
around the outside.
Mm.
Can I have a perception check potentially to see where people would come out of? Like because these are like the big ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
That cargo go through. Where's the people that come up to, from the inside, come up to the roof to handle the cargo? Where's that little door?
Yeah. You see, can you roll me a perception check, please?
Yep,
You can
and I'm
add,
gonna add
you can add
searching.
searching to that, yes.
Yay! So that is
You can do it. And no.
a 10, and also got stunt dice of 2.
So wait,
I
so,
will-
so what was the total?
Total was 10.
10. Yeah, you see from where you are along essentially the peak of the top ridge of the roof, there is essentially a small walkway / like there are these sort of like ladder rungs along the top of it, which you gather are essentially like grips or a place that you'd attach a lifeline, shall we say. You're fairly sure, like, if you were to continue down that path, like, the only reason that would be there was for someone to walk across this area.
You found a door. A game's greatest enemy. You could be Kratos, but it still doesn't mean you can open the door.
Well, I got lock picking, so I'll figure it out.
Are there windows along the side of the building?
There are. They appear to be, like, heavily boarded up.
Motherfucker. I guess we'll follow the depressed... I'm not going to say it. Let's follow Eric.
I'm taking your advice. There's going to be doors from the inside, so therefore we find the door that goes to the stairs on the inside.
Good advice.
Much better than a straight drop.
I'm so happy to see you, really using your special skills in stairs.
Thank you. I study about as hard for it as my medical practice. Can we please go?
That is worrisome.
That is sarcasm. Oh,
Sorry, I just saw follow the Depresso
Depresso espresso. Oh. That's amazing.
Choo choo.
Heading
Go,
across
train.
the roof, indeed there is this sort of like series of essentially like ladder rungs, these little sort of rings that pop out the top of the roof that you eventually, heading towards the other side of the roof, you come to a what is essentially like a trap door that goes sort of built into one side, seems much smaller than the other two, and seems to be much more of a personnel passageway than the other two.
Cool. Is it locked?
It is indeed.
Is there any way I can mess with the lock?
You can certainly try.
I will do a dexterity check, and I will put in lock picking.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in you.
Thank you. Someone has to. Okay, that was not bad.
Just think about it like you're like cutting open a person.
That actually weirdly helps. 14.
14. Yeah, you like on the outside of this small like trapdoor, you see a section that you gather, like looking it over, there doesn't appear to be shows like a keyhole here. There does appear to be a small spot that is essentially what you would gather to be an emergency. I've left and accidentally locked the area behind me, and now I'm stuck on the roof, sort of hole, like a.
Thank goodness for emergencies.
An emergency sort of open up keyhole sort of thing.
Ah, yes, another hole in a door.
As working through this, it's a bit trickier as you're suddenly like, wait, this is not normal tumblers. This seems to be more of a thing that you would just put the correct essentially it's sort of just like a small round hole that you figure you would just put the correct shaped, almost like key sort of turner into, and the thing would just pop open. Mm-hmm. Working around it, you eventually find the right mechanism that seems to have the right pressure to it, and it just you see the whole trapdoor area just pops up slightly.
Look, Ulf. They made it easier for me to break in.
That's sus.
You think everything's sus?
This is cursed. That is cursed. Everything is cursed.
So, I don't think I should go first because, well, I'm not going to bat around the bush. Yeah, I'm fragile and I have the body of a
twig.
Yes, that. Ulf, can you please go first?
Place the G with a K.
Sure. Look, I thought you were leading this mission, but anyway.
I can, but I'd rather do it from the back.
No one else wants to go in first?
Well, Eric does prefer to do it from the back, so...
With this kind of wording, I'm not going in first.
Look, fair enough. Look. All right. In I go.
Get in there and feel around first for us.
Just pop in.
My hand in first. No.
Mm-hmm.
Dive in head first.
So you're
just trying to go open and go in, trying to keep as low as I can.
Can you give me a strength check, please?
Oh no. Oh no.
It's my first weakness. A door.
Does 5 help?
You grab a hold of the handle or like the edge of this trapdoor, and you go to pull at it, and there's this moment of resistance as you sort of pull at it at first, and it doesn't seem to move all that easily, and so you just sort of and tug on it. As you do, there is this echoing
Oh no.
of these like rusted hinges, because it has also not been used in several years.
Remember what I said about the hinges, mate?
Well,
We're near the ocean. What happens when you throw a sword in the ocean?
That was Eric's fault for telling me to go first.
Eric, what the fuck?
Leadership takes accountability and responsibility from behind.
As always.
It feels like I'm getting it from behind. What the fuck?
So you do know what it feels like.
However, as you like hold for a moment and everything's like still and quiet, you hear this ringing, like echoing, almost like dissipate into the distance. There does not seem to be any further sound.
Alright, so we have two options here. We either fucking bolt and we see who comes out in another hour or so, or we go in and possibly have to beat the fuck out of people and get the shit kicked out of us.
Eric,
Or a third
can
option.
you do that thing, or have you already done and failed?
Yeah, sense for the
people,
thoughts.
the things.
What if we just leave this open And you send in some of your little people to check it out tomorrow.
I thought you were about protecting the innocent, sir. You
What's
want me
this
to send
about little
children
people?
Can I do the
They're
Why
not
do I
going to
do
be
this?
honest.
You
I'm
can
certainly
not telling
roll
them to
for
go
it,
and fight.
definitely.
We tell them to go in a place you don't want to go.
I'll go in there. I just don't want that one.
Come on, Eric. Come on.
I'm
Don't
coming,
worry.
mate. Hang on. Give me a second. Math is hard.
That's what-
I know.
Just
Sorry, no. That face was very much the like I have already failed sort of thing.
No, I have not failed. I succeeded.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, it's math is hard. Yes,
So
Get that as like some stream merch of this campaign. Math is hard.
math is hard. Math, not even once. What
Just
does
like
that
as
do?
So,
So much I want to say.
if I succeed, I sense the presence or absence of other minds with an intelligence ray within 100 yards. And
Cool.
it gives me approximate number, general type, so if they're an animal or a person, and approximate location.
I love
And
that.
if people have mind shield, they have to roll against me
Mhm.
to go undetected.
Okay.
But I'm guessing that's not the case, and really, like, low intelligence does not count.
Oh, okay. You up on the roof, you sort of again go through this incantation in your mind, weaving the magic together until there is just that like sort of expansion of consciousness around you, passing down through the timber and stone below you. 5 blips pop up on your radar.
You make it sound like I'm a living sonar. You're just going bing.
What is it
Bing.
like? That's all it is. Yeah, it's just it just tells you that this like minds. I love that it says or absence of. Like I'm going to turn around and be like, yes, your sense of mind is not there. There's one mind that is supposed to be there that is not.
There's just a one guy there, astral projecting.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, there's one ghost in there. It's weird.
yeah.
He's there, but he's not.
But do I get approximate location?
You see, there's
Like-
yeah. So there
Or
is
some running
one.
towards us or running away is what I'm trying to suss out here.
Oh yeah. None of them appear to be in like frantic motion. There are 4 of them that appear to be sort of wandering, just sort of wandering around. One of them is at essentially the end that you are at this stage, sort of the back end of the warehouse. Seems to be standing, just still in place.
Oh,
Okay, so
good news. Good news. There are 5 of them, and they're deaf as fuck.
they what?
They're deaf.
How do you know? Can you sense if someone's deaf? Your
No,
magic
that's-
is
that's a-
wild.
That's a completely other test that I can do. Never mind. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The important thing is they're not coming to kill us.
Oh,
Nor
sweet.
are
I'm
they
gonna-
running away.
After that,
Well, we have a thing to go in. Thing we can do. We can go in very stealthily and try to pick them off and try to get the most semi-competent looking one, and then we question him.
and we get Ulf to kill every other one.
I'm okay with this.
I was more thinking of knocking them out of some kind, but
Knock them
Look.
out with a knife to the throat.
that's
The forever nap. I'm sure they're tired. They must be.
Look, if we can,
I'm sure
Get
this
as
body
many of
count
them.
will have no ramifications or consequences to us whatsoever.
Fuck it,
I
let's
would
go.
certainly hope not. I think there's been enough dead bodies in this town tonight. But anyway, we'll
Can
do
you
what
sense
we
that too?
can. Pardon?
Can you sense that too?
We're
I'm taking the piss, mate.
We're focusing on the wrong things here.
Hugo getting a gauge, finally getting a gauge of Eric's power.
Eric, are you?
I do magic. Leave it at that. Anyway,
No, I do magic. You do voodoo shit.
you know what? Fuck this. I'm not doing this. I just start
No.
climb
Get
in.
it. I'll push
No,
you in
I
first.
climb in. I start going through. Like,
Cool.
this conversation.
Can I get at this stage? Can I get a stealth check from everybody that is stealthing?
Oh,
That is a 16.
Mm-hmm.
9.
11 from me.
14.
Cool. And can I get the stunt dice from everybody?
5.
2.
Oh,
Cool. Yeah.
Kawaii.
You all make your way,
I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that?
dropping down
Flip it.
into this essentially like small, what appears to be a small sort of like attic run at the top. There are a number of what appear to be almost like pallets and crates stacked off to one side, and a walkway. So this catwalk down the middle that leads to what appears to be a ladder that drops down to the area below. As you reach the other side, sort of peering over the ledge, you can see a larger warehouse below. There are a number of crates and barrels all sort of sorted and stacked on either side. And you see 4 figures wandering around, seemingly like moving crates and bits and pieces. You see various, like barrels of what seem to be water, as well as one of them cracks one of them, like pops the lid off another one, and you see what looks like either ale or mead inside. Up to the other side, there are a number of crates that you can see weapons and crates of ammo, as well as further up there's various bits of dried rations and food. And right up to the back of the area, you see this large, quite muscular elven man, quite a rough-looking individual, wears this long coat. Where did I put his description? Nope. Yeah. Sorry, just a second. Yeah, so it wears a long coat, these heavy boots and baggy, like almost like cargo pants. It's got this sort of ratty brown hair, which is shaved all around at the sides and the back, with a top knot. The top of it's tied into this sort of messy top knot. You see a number of lined, dark tattoos that run down the side of his face and down his neck. He's sort of standing, leaning over a table. There's a number of charts and bits of paper leaning out ahead of him, as he's just sort of looking over everything. No one seems to have noticed you. What'd you like to do?
I think you're all right. They are deaf.
Ada would like to look for like the bureaucracy of crime, but pretty much that's where that guy's standing. Like, there's not a like separate area where he's near the paperwork,
Yeah,
so to speak.
looking
It
looking
implies
over
he can
this.
read.
Looking over this is, yeah, like if you were to put anything surrounding like a leader to this idea, it's him. And from what you've seen of the Razor Runners so far, and your understanding of how all of this works, this is very likely their entire operation.
Okay. Is there a?
You guys want to?
I'm assuming we're crawling through like a walkway.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
Does
it's
the
a
walkway go
catwalk.
above his head?
It does. It is, from what you understand, where you came in, you would say if you were to go straight through the floor, you would land on top of it.
And how many feet down is he?
It's about 20 feet down.
What's the velocity of a hammer if you drop it on someone's head?
We
need him.
We need him alive.
Shoulder.
You
Collarbone.
Oh,
cannot be that
God,
accurate.
I want you to
From-
roll aim. I want you to aim that so
You know what? Tie the hammer to a rope, throw it, and swing it down at him. Get him in the nuts.
I could have 2 hours. I could not even explain to you why that would not work.
I could have
rope to
3
arrow,
seconds
shoot
to
him in
explain
shoulder,
to
pull
you
him up.
how it could work.
I'm like, I feel like you guys could pick off the other guys first, and then we can.
That's what I want to do.
Oh,
From
yeah.
here, do we have like good perspective on all of their locations and sort of roughly, do they have a route that they're following, like a route they're following or anything?
For the most part, they seem to be, as far as you can tell, a lot of it at the moment appears to be sorting. You can see they're moving from various tables. They're picking up sort of items and moving them to, or moving barrels to the appropriate, areas and that sort of thing. In fact, the one that you saw essentially crack open one of the barrels, you realize it was because it was unlabeled and he didn't know where to put it. As he hammers the lid back into place and rolls it over towards one of these sort of like piles of barrels.
Are they drinking at all? Just out of curiosity, you said they opened up some wine.
You see, you see like not from anything that seems to be here, but I'll say that you see a couple of tankards or just almost like tin pint cups. That they seem to be, one of them every so often, especially the head guy seems to be sort of sipping from every so often.
What's the color of their skin?
They seem
Like, do they seem to be normal hued in comparison, like to the other guys?
Yeah.
Who we ran into? Yeah.
They seem to be for the most part like elves, humans, dwarves. Like they're not.
Bit of a mismatch.
They're a mismatch, but they're all fairly.
But then, we
normal.
don't have any like weird graying skin like these other guys did, who we met in the tavern. Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. We don't
how
want
about
the
this?
coked up ones.
We sneak up behind
No,
him.
all of these seem like, even as they're wandering around, they seem cognitive. They seem
Within their mind, lucid.
yeah, lucid. That's the one.
How about this? We'll sneak up behind them, one by one. Wrap fabric around their face. You stab them in the throat.
Dragyn, can I do a intelligence check to go through my bag, and particularly brewing? I want to see if I have anything like something to mix with morphine or something I can mix and potentially form like chloroform.
Yep, making
or something
chloroform.
like
Can you roll a intelligence check, please?
that. May I mix that with brewing?
Yes.
Yay.
Absolutely.
I have the recipe for that.
Ooh, not too
Good
bad.
job.
Mathy. Oh, a 15.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like easy enough. You'd have enough, like that. You'd have something that is just like the components are there. Like you'd be able to pull out essentially a essentially it's like what's the word?
Bottle?
Like essentially an anesthetic and some other alchemical that you think about it for a moment and go like, yes, if I would have this, if inhaled, will very quickly knock a man out. And to be perfectly honest, if I leave the rag there, he will just relax so much he dies. But
Can I ask a very important question?
you can indeed.
Were any of those chemicals the ones that Hugo switched around because he's a shithead?
Can you please just roll that for me and don't tell me?
I did switch out the ones that were in the shop. I'm not sure if you use them. For
I'm
going
gonna do you one better. Tell me what the stunt dice was on that roll.
On me?
On your roll.
That was a 5.
And
That was
Hugo.
a 5.
Oh no, don't do it now.
Oh
No, please tell me.
No, it's all right. Because I was gonna say before things.
Because I got notes.
Because I got notes. But the only notes he has is the pranks that he's pulled through.
Sedatives swapped with adrenaline.
Yeah. No, I remember. I remember. I remember.
This could be very interesting.
I don't want to know.
Cool. Yeah, you putting these you pull out these two bottles and you're like, yeah, if I mix this with this, it'll essentially make chloroform. Like a very potent chloroform, very fast acting.
She calls it the Hugo.
As you sort of mixing them together, the whole thing seems to almost like fizz, and in a very satisfying sort of way, it seems to fizz and mix, and then settles into what, by all appearances, appears to be exactly what you intended to make.
I really hope we just invented noradrenaline.
It's like so good. It's like good news. We can knock them out with this if we.
Yeah. You're 100% sure?
Yes, I'm 100% sure. Why wouldn't I be?
Oh, I just want to make sure.
Do you know how to make chloroform?
I know the general principle.
The general principle. Look, this goes on cloth. Throw it over their mouth. Probably about good 15 seconds. No more than 20, though. You will kill them.
You could do the same with hydrochloric
Ulf,
acid.
I'm looking at you.
I don't think I'm the one you have to worry about here. I just motion towards Hugo.
Hugo's thinking back, trying to itch his brain for a memory.
I can be worried about both two different things for two different reasons.
He just can't remember what he remembers something about sedatives.
It's like, so.
I'm gonna roll to see if he remembers.
So, like,
can I do that?
You can indeed.
Ada, I just start pouring some on, a cloth and hand it, one for you. Don't inhale that. Whatever you do.
What would it be adding to this roll?
Intelligence.
um, 9.
You have no clue. You have complete in the excitement and between the the excitement of everything that's been going on, the very tired and it
was a late night when it happened.
Yeah, you've completely forgotten anything about what happened.
Even if I did, I'd be like, nah, he surely uses some different one for his travel pack.
All right, let's do this then.
Yeah, I'll just distribute morphine cloths to everybody, and it's we go in quick, go in and take out the cronies, and then maybe we can all tackle the big one and because he's a very big lad, I don't know his tolerances, and then we can potentially double team. Ulf, I'm not good at combat. How does that sound?
I have to say, with your plan here, you ever considered joining Varley's crew? And I just turn and start walking towards the ladder.
I'm gonna go towards
Eric's just kind of smiles and just feels like he's oh.
And Ada just goes from the back.
And instantly the smile's gone.
Cool. So all
Double
of you
team
make
from the back.
all of you with your stealth checks from before. All of you get down the ladder.
Oh no, we have
waiting-
stealth checked them before. Oh, shit.
I want to re-roll them.
Getting down to the ground floor. You keep behind some of the pillars in the room, as well as the two of you creep up to the first two that you see, which I will say we will say are Ulf and Eric, can I get an attack roll from both of you, please?
You certainly can.
Just whatever your like physical attack roll is. I think both of you should have brawling.
Yep.
Pretty sure brawling is just across.
Eric
everyone,
has
so.
proficiency with drug use in combat.
I actually have an improvised weapon, so this can actually help. I can do
Hey.
damage with this if I wanted to.
You slap him across the face with a wet cloth.
I could do it. It'd be 1d3 or something according to that, but yeah, still good. That is a 12 from me.
Cool.
I failed. Actually, I'm not good at this because I didn't write down my attack roll. So
That's
I did
right.
just my base
So-
one. Do I need to pop down strength as well or something like that?
It'll be fighting.
Fighting.
Fight on!
Oh, cool. 13 then, plus
13.
1.
Cool. And Ulf, what did you get?
So that is 13 as well.
Cool. So both of you, like, as you approach these guys, they're sort of not very alert in this moment. They seem to be just doing about their work. As you approach up behind them, you like grab hold, covering their full face with this cloth as they sort of you feel as you clamp this down, you see the two heads, like the two faces ahead of you, like turn around and look. As can I get the other two to roll attack rolls, please?
Yes, you
Are
can.
we close enough to get them, or do we need to like?
Yeah. So you've made your way around the outside, and like Broader come up behind them.
So we're kind of distracting them
Yeah,
because
yeah.
as they muffle, and then you guys gonna get them the next ones.
Hell yeah.
Would brawling come into this?
I strategized the
Okay.
perfect plan. I'm a genius.
15.
15?
11.
11. Okay. You, as,
Kick him in the back of the leg.
as, Ulf and Eric, you, head up behind these two, like, covering their face. Eric, you hold for a few moments as his flailing sort of dies a little bit and his shoulders start to slump. You take the cloth away, and that's sort of like, no, it's done its work, I'll take it away. As you do, you see this guy as his eyes sort of roll for a moment, and he goes, turns around and turns to you, like snaps his head around to look at you, and is like, hey, who are you? What's going on? Is it warm in here? I feel like it's just really warm. We should go swimming. Have you been swimming recently? It's really like, it's just, at this point, Ulf, yours is a very similar reaction as he turns around. He's like, hey, who are you? You look cool. You look real cool. Like, you got a thing going. Do you work out? I feel like I should work. Like, I work out a bit, but I feel like you work out a lot. And like,
Can I take the cloth and just shove it in his mouth and smash his head into one of the barrels next to me?
yeah.
I feel like Eric is just like, after like trying, he's still like, he is frantically wondering like, how the fuck did that not work? What do you mean that didn't?
You
what
also see
happened?
as-
and he's just trying to shut him up.
Yeah, there's this brief moment as he's talking to you, he's like, you're standing next to this table as he essentially is talking to you. You watch as he's like very excitedly like, I feel like, do you want to go dancing? Have you been dancing? I haven't been dancing in ages. And then suddenly his legs just sort of almost buckle underneath him. He catches himself on the table. It's like, oh, that's weird. Anyway, yeah, no dancing. What about like, I don't know, like, oh, we could go to the bar. We could go get a drink. And, at this point, you like hear just from the top, it's like, what the hell is going on? At this point, Ulf, yes, you knock this guy out as he just careens onto the floor. As he steps, as this sort of large elf man sort of like makes his way around the table, staring down at the four of you. I will say,
Bonk.
yeah, you knock out your guy. At about this point, who was it?
Imagine the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles scene from the first movie. Like
I feel- I feel like Eric's just trying to cover this man's mouth, and he just keeps talking.
You have very soft skin. Do you like moisturize? I don't know. I've been told I have rough head.
And Eric is just like looking. Well, it's like one thing. It's like he's looking at that, and then he's just like not paying attention. He's looking at the cock and just like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Hugo's just looking disappointed at Eric, like, what the fuck? You had one shot.
I don't know what. That's not supposed to happen. That's literally not supposed to. How the fuck? What the...
You also see that, like, while this man is jabbering, there are about 3 or 4 times that his eyes close completely, and he starts to just sort of almost jabber a bit, and then suddenly he's like, "Anyway, what was he talking about?" Like,
Can I potentially make a just an intelligence check? Because he cannot reconcile this of what the fuck just happened.
Mhm.
How did this happen? I have 2 sedatives. This should not provoke this
roll
type
me an
of
intelligence
reaction.
check.
That's a 10.
You fairly easily
13.
recognize.
Sorry, 13.
Yeah.
Pardon me, I keep forgetting to add my skills.
You looking into this man's face and realizing this complete motion of like up, down, up, down, up, down is, yeah, quite literally what you would imagine happens if you were to give someone an equal dose of adrenaline and sedative. As in, essentially, the brain is struggling to figure out what it's supposed to be doing, and is essentially basically going like, sedative, adrenaline. You also recognize that this man is about 20 seconds away from having a heart attack.
We took him out either way. We win!
I think you need to sit down, first of all. Just probably sit down. Just, come on, buddy. Just sit there. Shut up.
He's like, yeah, that's and he just like tree falls onto the ground.
Oh, this is why I asked him to sit. Oh god, and I feel like I'm gonna check this man's pulse.
He is like checking his pulse. It is a jazz drum beat. There is.
Can I check my bottles to see if there's any, just because I'm like, I saw 2 sedatives. It's labeled 2 sedatives.
Yeah, you take out these 2 bottles that you had, and very easily at this point, like now that you know what you're looking for, you suddenly have that moment of like, no, that's, hang on, pop the top off, and you're like, nope, yep, that's an upper.
I feel like at this point Eric knows.
What does Eric know?
Eric knows what even Hugo has forgotten.
The thing is it a deception check if Hugo's honestly forgotten? Or is it a persuasion?
Eric's head slowly turns to Hugo.
Ada's like,
so disappointed
shaking.
and confused. Like, what the fuck, man?
Ada's got her, well, if she could do it, still over the other guy's mouth. And it's like, Eric, focus. Environmental awareness.
Hugo's looking at the clock like, I might hold on to this for later.
Cool.
I swore to do no harm.
And you just murdered someone.
But I might not honor it today.
You just ended someone. That no harm, that oath is gone.
At about this point,
when I rip your skin off your body.
As you're having this argument in the middle of this just
I feel like I'm
desecrated warehouse,
shaking
you all turn around. I don't know who's been paying attention or not. No. The elf is gone.
Chasing after said elf.
Yeah. Cool. Anyone who is chasing
would be legging, yeah.
Yeah. Can you give me
Let's
a strength? Can I get a is it strength running?
Dexterity?
Dexterity, no.
I'm down for
Constitution running check. So it's a con check.
Hey, Dragon, can I potentially down what's left of of that upper. If there is any left, so I can just be like, "Oh, we're running? Fuck it, I'm running."
I would like to point something out from a medical point of view. If you were to take even, I believe it was 10 milligrams of straight.
It's not necessarily like it is not necessarily straight adrenaline, but it is a what would you call it? The opposite of a sedative. It is
okay.
An adjutant. Is that correct? Or
adjutant sounds
Stimulant?
Stimulant. That's the one.
Stimulant's a good word.
Because adrenaline specifically, Eric will be running at full mast for 4 hours. With the inability to pee.
What? You know what? Just don't look down then, you weirdo.
Oh.
Just from a medical standpoint.
Well, I'm gonna see if I can take a little bit of what's left, because I don't think there is much, because I did use the whole thing.
I will. Okay. Yep. I will give you.
Is there any bleach in your thing so I can bleach my mind?
I will give you. I will give you a +2 to that to your running roll.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it. I got no constitution.
Right. I rolled a 13 to run after them, but could I use my specialization of hunter to like track them?
Yeah.
To keep up with them?
Yep.
What stat is this, by the way?
Constitution.
Constitution. There we go.
I got 11.
I got 12.
I got 10.
13. Cool. So it's 10, 11,
little
12,
legs.
13. Cool. You see, I'll say Ulf, you're the first one to see, and then Eric quickly after, being the one who's sort of facing in that direction. You see Ulf move. You see one of the back doors just bursts open as this guy like rushes out the back. You chase after him, running back out into the night air. Eric, you like taking a sip of this, you feel that like tingle run down through your skin, and like your heart starts to slowly increase as you charge after. Ulf, you are like, sort of like long stride, like sprinting and like moving throughout the night. When behind you, you just hear this. As you turn around and see this pale moonlit, wide-eyed ghoul, like
From behind.
dinner plate
Absolutely
pupils
pinging.
just charging after you, like.
Arms spread
rushing.
out behind him.
Ulf has never felt more like at home than in this moment right now.
As you charging around a corner, you see a figure moving away in the dark, and like he pushes a bunch of crates behind him. Can I get a dexterity check from everyone, please? Who is chasing?
Shit.
No, his little legs. They're gonna catch on something.
Oh.
That is a total of 15 with 2 3s. And 3 is a stun.
Nice.
14.
Also 14.
Nice.
13 with a 5 on the stunt.
Cool.
Did you want the stunt?
As you very all of you like quite definitely like make your way over this obstacle. I'll say the ones in the front very quickly close the distance. Ulf, you are the first to get to him as he is running. What would you like to do?
Is he like within grasp?
Yeah. You've basically gotten to the stage now. You are running, and you are now within, whether it be like lunging or like grabbing distance. You reckon you could get a hold of him?
Hey, Ulf. How bloodthirsty are you right now?
Don't kill him.
Take him back to the warehouse.
Less than an hour ago, you slit someone's throat.
Just to
Just
guarantee
Ada's like, "Don't kill him."
I get a good grip,
Mhm.
I'm going to pull my knife. Okay. I'm going to, as I'm like right behind, sort of jump to tackle, but drive the knife into the shoulder.
Mhm.
So as we fall, pins.
Okay. Can you roll me a... This is going to be interesting. Yeah. Can you roll me a... yeah, just an attack roll, I'll say. Yeah.
Attack up. All right. That is... What do I add to that one again? Rolling? Or my dagger
fighting.
stuff?
Yeah, so you would add your... you're using a dagger?
Yeah, using my dagger.
So you would... daggers are...
Yeah, so... Accuracy.
Isn't it? Light blades, yes.
Attack
So
roll,
accuracy
accuracy.
plus your light blades
Yep.
focus, if you have that. Which you should, as it were.
Okay,
15
so that
total.
would
Cool.
be
Can you roll damage for me,
15
please?
total then. See.
It'd be really great. 3 points of damage?
That is the total of
Okay.
3.
You
Yeah.
dive forward, plunging the dagger into the back of his shoulder, as you're, so you push your weight on top of it, knocking him to the ground. He sort of sprawls out. There's this deep sort of as he hits the ground, and you realize as like you've hit the way he is sprawling, you recognize that your dagger has not made it through his coat. Like it is apparently appears to be a sort of like a reinforced, shall we say, it's a reinforced leather coat. As he's trying to sort of hold and like move, he's like, "Get off me!"
Holding him down.
Cool. At about this point, Eric, you arrive. Gotta go fast.
Like help him like pin him down with the weird adrenaline strength that I have.
So you also there's this sort of like as you sort of add your weight to his back.
Hi, friend. You tried to run. That's probably not a good idea. So I'm gonna explain how this is gonna go. I'm a doctor and all that. So let's play again. You're gonna tell us what you know, or he's gonna break your bones. And as he does, I'm gonna name them and explain whether or not you're gonna ever recover. How's that sound?
Wolf looks to wolf. Fuck.
As you think this
Wow,
is
this stuff is really good.
You see, Ulf, for quite possibly the first time in your life, someone who looks at you as the lesser of two evils. You see a man as this man turns and looks at you, he's like, his eyes wide from Eric. He just looks at you and he just says, he's like, Look, I will tell you what you want to know, but keep that one away from me.
Take him back to the warehouse.
Heart feels like a song at the moment.
Eric just try and take it from behind.
Can someone help hold him down?
Yeah, I'll sit on
Hands and feet.
AEDT does. Yeah. Just tasteful shit. She's gonna
Yep.
do bureaucracy and
Cool.
figure out what else is going on.
All right, let's lift this guy up and see what he knows. And like, the word you, I say also the word you. Do you want to drag him back to the warehouse in case he screams, or do you just want to do this here?
We'll take him back.
Where?
Yeah, all right.
Take
I
him
grab him
back.
by the ankles, start dragging him.
I just carefully whisper, you fuck us over and you belong to him.
It's like, look how many star jumps I can do, guys.
The hell is wrong with you? The hell?
Turns out my medicine works really well.
You said it was a sedative.
That one wasn't.
Oh god.
I-
Don't ever let
like-
this guy give you medical advice.
Oh right, I start shaking you. You switched my
Ah!
balls, you fucking bastard.
I don't have any recollection of this. What? No, sorry. I don't have any recollection of this, mate. Just calm down, calm down. I've done nothing wrong.
You've done everything wrong. You're just too stupid to remember.
Hey.
Yeah.
For a moment, make your outside voice your inside voice.
Okay.
We don't need to be drawing any more attention, yeah?
Yep. Sorry.
Fuck me.
Heading-
I'll start dragging.
Yep. Heading back inside.
We'll drag him from his shoulders. Be a bit nicer.
There's
That way he gets to look at Eric on the way back.
there is
Eric's
an
just kind of jogging kind of in place because he can't seem to stand still.
He's really excited to cut you up, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
there is an echoing snoring as you enter back into the building.
Oh, some of them are dead.
Oh, the sedative worked.
You but yeah, entering back in, you close the door. He just seems to be like the elf on the floor appears to be just sort of fairly looks fairly just sort of disgruntled at this moment, but you know, has been fairly quiet all the way in.
Yeah, well, Ulf, you wanna take the lead on this, or
Can do. Now, what were you doing in here? We've seen you've got ale, weapons, munitions. What's going on in here? Speak fast.
He
I'm gonna walk around and hold Eric's arms, try and stop him from jittering back, and be like, "No, I'm stopping him from attacking this guy."
And Ada's going through the paperwork and like while they're doing their little thing, just like chat.
If you want to give her, they're not dead.
I'd say
I'd be fast.
I'll let you go do that.
Yay!
cool. Can Ada, can you give me a perception check? And yeah, so while that's happening, the elf like looks around and seems to look at the area, and then looks at the people, like his crew on the floor, and just sort of, it's a smuggling operation.
Are you in charge, or you working for
Yes.
someone?
No, I run this. The Razor Runners are my crew.
Uh-huh.
We work business with other organizations, yes, but this is it.
So are you the one that gave your lot, whatever that was, that made him attack the tavern? Was that you?
He turns to look at you, like squints. He's like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
Have you not heard? Someone who's running a smuggling business doesn't know what goes on in the town.
He,
Come on.
like, looks around at the room, and he's like, "We've been kind of busy."
Is that like an insight skill?
Yeah. So roll, it'd be perception, empathy.
Don't one of you have a flap of skin with
Yeah.
tattoo on it?
It's either Ulf or
I have
has the
yeah.
skin. Yeah.
Which one did you say?
Perception, yeah.
Perception.
11.
11.
No worries.
Whenever you would like.
With an 11, like, yeah, he seems like looking over, he genuinely, as far as you can read on him, he genuinely looks like he has absolutely no, like, first of all, he looks just tired. Like, he looks like he potentially has not slept in a couple of nights. But you also see, like, as far as you can tell, he seems genuinely like there's no hidden stuff. It's just he is 100% like, what are you talking about?
Okay. Some of your lot, weird coloured skin, fucked up looking eyes, attacked a bunch of people for no real reason by the looks of it. Who have you hired your people out to?
He shakes his head. He's like, no, we don't. This doesn't make sense. No, we don't attack within Vartengard. We threaten, we rough up. We don't.
Yeah, no, that's not what happened, eh?
Do you have a man in your employ named... Oh, sorry. Do you have a man in your employ with blonde hair, scratches across his face, a few scars here and there? He's pretty light on his feet, if you get my drift.
You see, as you're saying, like, all of this, and that he's like, as he's saying, you know...
Checking out for his facial expressions, checking out for recognition.
Yeah. You see, as he's like, as you're describing, there's a lot of the stuff you're describing that he sort of, you know, goes through almost like a mental checklist. The moment you mention light on your feet, he's like, no, my boys get their job done, but they are not the most subtle. If I need that sort of work done, I do it myself.
Right. Do you know anyone that would want to frame you and your crew for anything? I'm sure there's probably plenty of reason to, but...
He shrugs his like...
I think hard, mate. There's a young lord is dead, and your gang's name is pretty well scribbled across the scene. We found you in under an hour.
A young lord? What are you talking about?
Young lord, new to town. During the scuffle, he was murdered. And it looked like someone went through great lengths to clean the scene. Any of this ringing a bell, mate?
We only had one job in the upper districts. It wasn't it wasn't a kill, it was a smash and grab.
What house?
He gives a number. It is not the house that you're talking about. He turns, he says, what house was the man killed in?
32 Wave Street.
He turns to look over at Ada as he juts his head and he says, the ledger at the end, information. Check the address. That doesn't sound right to me.
Ada does as he points out.
You, looking over, I'll say, just jumping over to you for a second, looking over the pieces of paper on the pieces of paper on the table, it appears to be, for the most part, like it is various. It's encrypted. It's not encrypted well, but it appears to be, yeah. It's all the trappings of a very basic smuggling operation. half. What you would gather is half smuggling and half skimming, essentially. Like this is, oh no, your parcel got lost, and then we have stock to sell. It is, you looking over this, you're like, this needs a lot of work. Seeing the ledger off to the side, it's this small leather-bound book. It doesn't quite fit, the rest of this aesthetic, shall we say. It seems to be quite a very properly bound and managed book. Opening it up, you also recognize that the handwriting does not match everything else here. It is a much more, it seems to be a much more educated, refined handwriting. As you flick through, you find various information surrounding guard patrols, shipments, as well as eventually receiving essentially almost like a manifest of the, the residential areas and the people who are meant to be staying there over Sigurblot.
Who was meant to be staying in 32 Wave Street, or wherever the place is?
We
need a name.
See the name under that appears to be Arnor Gunderson.
Was Leif's name at all in that ledger?
No.
So the guy that died wasn't even supposed to be there. He didn't stay there.
Do you know anything about this, Arnor?
You are asking the elf?
Mm-hmm.
He looks over and he says, he sort of grins a bit, and like almost cocks an eyebrow as he says, "You don't know Arnor Gunderson? He's a composer from Alfheim, from Iliaborg. He's created some of the most beautiful music we've heard in our time.
Could I please roll etiquette to find out if I recognize the name?
Sure.
It allows me to get glimpses into culture and... Hold on, let me read it. I don't think I have it up, goddammit. Just a momento. There we go. Knowing the social niceties of various cultures.
So that would be more, I would say, in the regard of knowing. So in that case, it'd be you would know how, you would know
to act,
how to interact with people of different cultures in a respectful manner to their culture.
Yeah, it's kind of like bowing to a Japanese person, the certain rules, or you hand them a card with two hands. It's certain tiny little details like that.
Okay. Well, then I'll just roll for knowing?
Intelligence?
So yeah, you would just roll. It'd be probably a historical lore check if you have historical lore, but it would be just an intelligence check otherwise.
I have arcane lore. But if we're just going off intelligence, let's see, 8, 9, 14.
14. You've heard the name. And there's a moment that you are struggling to remember, you're sitting there thinking, where have I heard this name? Why have I heard this name? And suddenly it returns to you that your father used to rave about this man. He is a maestro, he is an artist, he is an absolute master of his craft. He, of all of the things that the one thing of almost the one thing that like your father was always very much about what you could make, what was useful, what was, you know, what was a craft or a forge that you could master that would help the world. And this seemed to be the one thing that he was always like, this is beauty.
It's nothing to do with practicality.
It is nothing to do with practicality, but this is beauty that here behind. There is a large part of it that you always saw as him almost leaning into the ideal of this is what nobility is about. This is how we move into that area. But at the same time, it's
not practical.
Not practical, yeah. But you've heard a lot of his music before, and it is, I imagine,
probably just has a song stuck in his head now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the one song. You now have your father's like Sunday morning chore music that he would blast stupidly loud at the first thing in the morning sort of song.
Oh no.
As he seems to look around as
Yeah, I know who he is. Hugo's mood is immediately soured.
So, Ada like picks up this ledger, which is literally this whole man's business, and is a gold mine for her. This is like power. His whole life, more than torture, more than anything like that.
Oh, that's just cruel.
And she sits down next to him.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge.
And taps the ledger on the nose and almost like smells it, and just smiles at him.
That's freaky. The person we're looking for, the composer, seems like he was supposed to be the one in the building. Whoever killed Leaf killed the wrong guy. That is my assumption at the moment. Or Arnold used someone who... Do I know what Arnold looks like? Sorry, not Arnold. Arnor.
Arnor? No. I don't think you wouldn't have ever seen a picture of him.
Maybe Leaf looked like him in some regard. He was staying in the wrong place. It might have been dark. He was in the wrong spot at the wrong time. We're looking for the composer.
Where was Leaf supposed to be staying? Is that written down there?
No.
No, but Leaf is the local lord's son, or a country lord's son, so he might have been staying with the composer, maybe met him up, maybe wanted to become an apprentice. A lot of local country lords, they try to push their kids into a profession that would bring them some manner of courtly majesty.
Wait. Sorry. He had a concert on a few nights ago.
He has a concert on in a few nights.
In a few nights.
Yeah.
He's got to show up for that.
So, darling, love, sweetie. And Ada's like looking at this elven man, literally like holding his whole business in her hands. The thing I'm trying to understand, see that the very aggressive, violent ones there. He literally
Also,
looks at Eric.
And at this point, Eric, can you roll me a Constitution check, please?
Oh, cool. Am I going to pass out yet?
Ada, real quick. Ada, yeah.
Yeah, go on. I'm just going to do. That was not bad. Maybe not. It's hard to tell in this game. That's an 11.
Cool. Ada, what are you doing?
the ultra-violent ones over there. See, the man one with the deep, scary voice literally cut out a tattoo of one of your boys who was one of the people who attacked the tavern. And it wasn't just any tavern that they decided to attack. And I'm surprised that you're not already packing up and leaving. Because they attacked Dragyn's tavern.
As
It's a
you said,
lot
I
of
would
really
catch
unhappy people. Did you not notice that 3 of your fellas went missing?
They struck a particular popular lady.
They were out on patrol last night.
And where did they? And Ada starts like, where would I find where they went?
Well, they went around the harbor where the action is. Because I need ears on the ground. They haven't returned, and now I know why.
Yeah, they're dead.
At this point, I've reduced the tattoo.
So you're saying they were down at the harbor. So we've got a musician who someone wants dead. We've got an assassin running about town. We've got your men being drugged and set on a random but important tavern. I'm failing to see the connection here. Do you know a man? Hold on. Let me find the... I write notes now. Do you know a man named Smoke?
He sort of cocks his head. He's like,
Dwarf, missing half an arm, mechanical shit all over the place.
yes, the gunsmith. Why?
Did your boys have anything to do with him? Did your business have anything to do with him?
The fuck would we have to do with him?
I don't know, but he was also at the tavern right before they showed up.
Didn't he leave right before they showed up?
Just after. He watched it all happen. No,
No.
wait, no.
No, he left before.
No, he left.
He left before, which is even more suspicious.
He shakes his head. He's like, we're smugglers, runners of basic equipment and food. We wouldn't.
Yeah, but he's also like a criminal, so.
What?
Huh?
Look, I think we're not really getting any further with this, but I think we can come to a bit of a deal here. You see, my friend there with all of your important documents, well, she now owns you, okay? And with that, all information you get, you bring to us. In return, I don't gut you right now. Sound fair?
And you'll see no more trouble from us.
Sounds fair to me.
I motion to Ada. You got a new recruit, he's yours now.
She's actually quite a good boss, to be honest. Your books are shit. You could use the help.
And I mean, you hear anything, then it comes to one of us immediately. Yeah?
I can do that, yes.
Good.
I'll send a rumor out that 3 of your boys owed gambling debts.
Solid.
Sounds good. Could I be untied now?
Oh, yeah, all good, mate. Here you go. Come on.
You might
Oh,
want.
this is some good rope.
You also might want to tend to your friend. You turn around and Eric is lying flat. No, you are flat on your face, snoring quite loudly.
I got tired. I ran a lot. It's not normal
Crashed
for me.
hard.
I crashed.
I'm going to take the
I don't
rope.
sleep.
I'm going to... Hey, Ulf, you good to help us carry Eric back?
Yeah, I can help. I can help.
I hog tie Eric to a stick.
Oh, cool. I'm going to get carried like a suitcase.
So
Yes.
the 4 of you carry Eric back to his surgery. With this new knowledge and the mystery deepening, we are going to end our session there. We've run a bit over this time.
I would like to do one thing before the
yeah.
session ends.
Sure.
I swap the labels back.
Oh my god.
Why are you gaslighting me?
I feel like at
out.
this stage Eric's going to have like a full like rewrite of everything.
I'm going to like inventory everything. I'm just like mystery of the random guys. Fuck that. I need to sort out my medicine cabinet.
In
This is the
light
bigger
of
issue.
knowing that I have done something wrong, I'm most likely going to get in trouble for it. I'm going to swap around the laxatives and the gastro stop.
Cool.
got so
Well,
long.
anyway,
Oh my
thank you
God.
all for joining us. We had a wonderful time this episode. Everything's getting very, very interesting. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We will be back in a fortnight with more of this. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it all. If you're watching on this YouTube, we stream on Twitch every second Thursday with this, and on the other Thursdays you can find me just playing some video games or doing some art or something like that. Also, just a reminder that, once again, we are affiliated with Green Ronin Publishing. If you use the code MetalGM on checkout, you can get 5% off any purchase through the Green Ronin website, which includes PDFs, which is very, very cool. No shippings, no nothing. Once again, this is all based in the same world, although much, 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 much later, as my novel, soon-to-be novels. Ulferdin comes out August 5th. Make sure you go and check out the details on my website, especially if you are from Melbourne or New South Wales or Queensland, if you really, really want to travel, because we have the book launch happening in late August or early September, around that area. But with that all said, thank you all, and we will catch you in a fortnight. Bye-bye.
Hi guys.
See the gaslighting in 2 weeks.
Oh god.